It's about so much more than the mountain itself. For me, the journey there is just as much of a challenge. And to have the chance to do something no one has even attempted before is an amazing opportunity.
Now and again, things happen in your life when your stomach goes and you have sleepless nights, and that's happened to me probably half a dozen times in my life, and this was one of them.
The sense of adventure behind the Everest Max expedition really excited me. I've always loved climbing and I've always loved cycling, and more importantly, I've loved travelling and being part of a team.
The purist in me loves the idea of cycling to Everest, and you can't get a more complete journey than cycling from the lowest point on Earth to the highest.
Everest has been a dream, and to combine that with the cycling trip as well was an amazing opportunity.
It's November 2005 and the Everest Max cycling team are getting some last-minute advice. Their bicycles have been especially designed by Marin and will have to last them over 5,000 miles through 8 countries.
I mean, brake-wise adjustment.
Adjust the static pad in, yeah. You've got spare pads, spare cables, spare brake levers.
Just enough that it will give you still a good high-speed rolling.
A month later, and the team are in Amman, the capital of Jordan. It's a last chance to test equipment and shop for supplies for the journey ahead.
I am lucky man. This is $52 million.
Crucial to the success of the journey will be support team Dicky and Rowe. With almost a ton of equipment to transport, the team need to secure a vehicle to carry spare bicycles, food, communications equipment, and all the personal luggage. They managed to secure a tax-free van, and after a quick service and wash, and the addition of a roof rack, it's ready to go. They will begin their ride 60 kilometers south of the city at the shores of the Dead Sea, the lowest point on Earth.
Any last-minute thoughts before our departure?
Not too keen on the hill.
No, it's quite a long hill. I was expecting a nice gentle first day. Maybe a slight
Apparently
climb.
this is Suwaima. What more can we ask?
Yeah!
Christmas is a very brief affair, a chance to open a few presents and email loved ones back at home before getting back on the road. Ahead lie nearly 1,000 kilometers of desert all the way to the Turkish border. With a late finish and plummeting temperatures, any accommodation will have to do.
What's for dinner, Rowena?
Fish and chips. We're not eating this, it's just practicing.
We did that too often. We won't ever be drinking one.
Yo! Merry Christmas! Look at that. How good am I?
up on spam and cucumber sandwiches. It's only about an hour into the ride and I've already eaten 2. I can next stop do a little bit more.
So what things are you using?
As the team prepare to camp in the desert for the first time, they receive an email from home. A climber by the name of Jerry Winkler is also attempting the longest climb. He is already 2 months ahead of Everest Max.
And I was quite impressed by the way the team reacted. You know, we're not... I think everybody's here for the sake of the journey, which is the right reason to be here. And getting a first obviously would be a bonus, I can't deny that, but that's all it is. You know, we're still... It hasn't affected our morale one little bit.
He thinks just because he's ahead of us by a couple of weeks, he's going to beat us. Which is not going to happen, because I really hate him! I hate him!
A brief stop at the desert oasis of Palmyra is a welcome relief from the open road. This ancient city lay on the eastern edge of the Roman Empire and was a key link in the Silk Road for centuries. 2 days later, and the team crossed the Euphrates at Deir ez-Zor. Realizing that they are being shadowed by the Syrian secret police, they decide to head straight to the Turkish border in a single 100-mile push.
If it was easy, it would have been done before, so now we're going to carry on down the road here, through to Al Kamishli, probably about 55 clicks.
Jamie, do you think Jerry could have done this?
Definitely not. I think Jerry would have stopped in the town back there, not pushed on through the night like we are. It's a bit hardcore Brits.
Feeling great, keeping up with the boys at the front there, pedalling hard. It's better in the dark because you can't see anything. One, 2, 3,
Turkish towns have a huge variety of fresh food available, but they also have other attractions, perfect after a long day in the saddle. Conditions for cycling and camping are far from ideal. They are now at nearly 2,000 meters and temperatures have plummeted.
It would be worth changing to knobbly soils.
For this area of Turkey, it is one of the worst winters on record. In Van, the largest town in eastern Turkey, conditions turn from bad to worse. It's not only the weather that's a problem. On the day of their arrival, 2 people die of bird flu.
If open here is 2,665 meters higher, and then after you're going to Dogobazet, and then you're going to border.
2,700 meters.
Every time it is sleep.
Improving weather allows the cyclists back on the road. Although the snow conditions are better, the danger is now the ice and freezing temperatures.
It's very, very cold. The weather could be worse, at least we've had no fresh snow. But Jamie's just had his first slip on the ice here. So the road's getting a bit treacherous, so we've got to take it really easy. But we've got to go up to 2,700 yet. So it's going to be a tough old day.
Nice.
The cyclists have completed one of the most demanding sections of the whole journey. From the pass, it's a smooth descent to the Iranian border, and what the team hope will be warmer conditions.
I'm really cold. Really, really cold.
While Dickie and Ro go ahead to the border, the cyclists take a well-deserved rest day. For the boys, it's a chance to go for a shave, with a difference. As the team enter Iran, the road conditions improve, although heavy traffic is now a real danger. Illness is starting to affect the team.
How are you feeling?
Fingers are freezing. Just trying to get the blood going again to warm them up.
You feeling alright otherwise?
Not really. I'm a bit sick, but I'm getting there. Luckily it's only a short day.
Just as Jamie recovers, Sarah falls ill with food poisoning, and the cyclists are stranded for 3 days in the coldest town in Iran.
But if all else fails, then tomorrow Imodium could be taken so that the trip could continue. Not ideal, but possible.
Yeah.
Okay, the conditions here at the moment are absolutely freezing. Apparently last night it was minus 29 degrees. Martha froze, we froze, and the vegetables in the van froze. That is a tomato.
We're on our way to Zanjan, cycling through an amazing valley with snow-capped mountains all around us. It's just awesome. Moving on from place to place every day. I love it. I'm just going to give you a taster of how mad the traffic is on these Iranian roads. Here goes. Whoa!
With health improving, the daily routine settles into rides of well over 100 kilometers. With only a 30-day visa to cross a country 3 times the size of France, keeping the bikes in good order is crucial.
As far as I go.
Getting enough food is also hard when only one meal is available in Iran: kebabs and rice.
Wind's picked up, and quite a long strong crosswind for us now. Hell for the cyclists.
It's the 21st of January. I had quite a nice day yesterday, but as you can probably see, the weather's definitely taken a turn for the worse. It is freezing.
Shelter for the night is a disused shop. The conditions are starting to take their toll on both cyclists and bikes.
Clean it. It's very, very cold this morning setting off. But it's got a lot better now, and the sun's out and the road's cleared quite quickly. So, yeah, not bad. We've done about 70k already. We're about to stop for lunch. The scenery is just stunning. The bike's still a bit messed up and quite icy. So we've had to resort to some drastic techniques to thaw out the derailleurs and get us going again.
And you might be able to see from here, we've got one there. We've got one there and one there.
We need to stop now. It's been a lovely day. Tea.
Check out how filthy my bike is.
Quite hard work cycling here at the moment. Not a lot of hard shoulders, especially when things like this come along. It's a bit big. I don't want to get out of the way.
Of these ones, they look good.
It's a girl's dream to go into a cake shop and go, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and then eat them.
And I'm not even sorry about where they're
These are good.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know. I'm not sure after one.
Just hung out here all day.
Reaching the city of Esfahan is a major milestone. One of the finest cities in the Islamic world, the team soak up sights and tea shops for a couple of days. Here they are over halfway through the country, but are still behind schedule, and some long days are called for.
But I'm out on the road again. I'm on the road again. But I'm so tired of crying. But I'm out on the road again. I'm on the road again. I ain't got no woman just to call my special friend. know the first time I traveled out in the rain and snow, in the rain and snow. You know the...
We just turned up at our destination today and found this amazing sight. All these locals were out with these massive pans on fires cooking some kind of soup, and it was delicious.
All they could say was welcome to Iran.
The cyclists are now close to the city of Bam. Devastated by a massive earthquake in December 2003, which killed a third of the population, the team have been fundraising for medical projects in the city.
Good. But what I would like you to do, take this as yours, make yourself at home, feel relaxed.
Thank you.
We've just been actually and seen some guys fixing stuff and making cement and making bricks and making foundations for buildings. So they really are trying to regenerate it. But when you've just got so much destruction, it must be so difficult to know where to even start. Yeah, it's quite an eye-opener.
No, it's good. I will do. He lives in a tent.
The reconstruction of Bam is well underway. But even 2 years later, evidence of the earthquake is everywhere. The citadel, thought to be over 1,000 years old and visited by Marco Polo, will alone take 30 years to rebuild.
Currently cruising along at about 20 miles an hour. Joey Winkler, here we come.
Only 2 weeks after cycling through driving snow, the problem is now the heat. Temperatures are 60 degrees warmer than in the north of the country.
This shot is to show you just how many flies are in this van.
We're coming into Zayadan, supposed to be the most dangerous part of the whole stretch of the journey. Got 2 police cars up ahead and an outrider behind. So a bit of fun for the guys on the bikes.
So they must be a bit worried about us for some reason. I'll try and find a hotel, and tomorrow country number 5.
While the team camp at the border with Pakistan, they have to endure the usual delay owing to bureaucracy. Forced to stop for 24 hours, the friendly customs officials suggest a game of cricket, a welcome relief and a reminder of old colonial times. This western corner of Pakistan is both a remote and dangerous place, home to only a few officials and traders who travel the road from Quetta, 600 kilometers to the east. The route is hazardous and travel is only advised in daylight due to the risk of attack from bandits.
But we tried to just cycle out of town and we've come up against quite a few burning tyres in the middle of the road and a bit of a riot going on, and we tried to run the barricade but wimped out about 50 metres short.
We just entered some serious desert. There's loads of sand dunes everywhere, and every now and then the road just disappears to a pile of sand, which is pretty cool.
Most of the desert up to now has just been scrub. This is real proper sand dunes, camels, the works.
The road from Dalbandian isn't the smoothest road. It's not Jamie's camera work, this is about bumpy road.
The team finally arrive on the outskirts of Quetta, having negotiated the trickiest part of the cycle journey. Little do they realise that thanks to cartoons published in the Danish press mocking Muhammad, there are anti-Western riots in every Pakistani city.
130, 140 kilometres in daylight.
You can.
We can.
Stranded in their hotel, it is a chance to have the first beer in almost 2 months on the road.
Let's reenact it somewhere else, on the bar in India.
A little bit of glass has somehow penetrated my Kevlar tyre and given me a puncture. So just watching out for bandits and trying to mend it as quick as I can, really.
Despite the stormy night, the team are camped in the safety of a police station. Little do they know that the nearby sewer is about to provide the next challenge.
Oh, that's the tent, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. Just see there isn't anything on this ground sheet. About an hour now since we got out of the tent. We're a good 6 inches deep in sewage, and at least we're under the shelter now. Rain's eased off a bit, but everything is absolutely filthy.
I think we picked a good spot. Yeah. Is this all your sewage?
Yes.
Are we camping in your sewage?
Yes.
Oh, nice. That's good.
After drying out, the cyclists continue their journey across the central mountains of Pakistan. The landscape is beautiful, but with every kilometre the roads are becoming worse and worse. The spectacular descent from the mountains brings with it better roads. As the team cross the Indus River at the town of Derry Khan, they have no idea that the city is home to Pakistan's nuclear facility, and the entire area is closed to foreigners. They are soon stopped and escorted straight out of the city by the local police. Nearing the safety of the city of Multan, the cyclists thought they had overcome every possible obstacle.
Well, we're about 20k outside Multan, and the weather was fine. We thought it was actually rain coming. We could see a big dark cloud over on one side of the road, and then this dust storm has just hit us quite suddenly, and we just had to pull up and try and find some shelter. And it's pretty fearsome. We're lucky to find this building.
From Multan to the border with India, the roads, weather and food all improve. This is the most fertile area of the country, and with it the population and traffic increase. For them, it is the last day of cycling in the Islamic world, and tomorrow they will cross to a new country, a new religion, and a new culture. The Golden Temple is home to the Sikh religion, and here people of all faiths are welcomed. It is a tranquil place and a relief from the chaos and traffic outside.
Well, this is what happens when you stop for lunch in India.
The sugarcane harvest is in full swing, and the roads are even busier than usual. For local people, any means of transport will suffice.
Well, we just made the mistake of stopping in a small Indian village for lunch. All we wanted really was a sandwich, but within about 15 minutes we had at least a couple hundred people around us.
Many years ago, hey, looked out through a glassless window. All that he could see was Babylon. Beautiful green fields and dreams, and learned to measure the stars. But there was a worry in his heart. How could it come to this? I'm really worried about living. How could it come to this?
Despite most of the team fighting stomach complaints, they can't afford to be fussy with food. The mountain is drawing closer, and they will need all the strength they can get.
Just had our first day going up into the Himalaya, and I'm having such a good day. It's absolutely beautiful, the people are lovely, and it's just more than I had ever expected, really. It's great.
It's not long before they catch a glimpse of the true Himalaya. It's a sign they are nearing the destination, but there is still some tough cycling ahead. In the next few days, the rest of the climbing party will start to arrive. The expedition will swell in size from 7 members to 15.
21st of March, nearly at Kathmandu. We're presently at 1400 metres, starting today at 300. That is amazing, wonderful climb. This is what cycling is about. Nearly at Kathmandu, we've got about 15k to go, and just having a wonderful time.
All being well, they will reach Everest in another 10 days. As the border approaches, it's goodbye to the tarmac again. From here, the cyclists must ascend over 4,000 meters in the next week. Acclimatization is now the biggest challenge. The climb into the Himalaya starts with a vengeance.
It's 8th of April, and we're now on one of the highest roads in the world. We're about 4,600 metres, and going a little bit higher, we've got to go over a 5,000 metre pass, the Thang La. From there we should descend a bit.
After 5,000 miles and more than 3 months on the road, it's a big moment for the cyclists. Their first view of Everest. Still nearly 100 miles away, they should be there in a couple of days, if the weather stays favourable.
Okay, that is the biggest wind I have ever known, at sea, on land or anywhere, and these cyclists went straight into it over bad roads all day, and I'm full of awe because that's quite astounding. And at the end of the day, just to make it really fun, it's now snowing.
We're at about 4,800 metres and we're still on our way up to base camp. We're plodding it really slowly. Last night it was sub-zero temperatures and everything's frozen. The van is now stuck. We've had to be cycling through icy waters, our feet are frozen. So we're just taking it easy and hopefully we're going to probably camp tonight again before going up to base camp.
Here they are, 8,000 kilometres, just about to be completed, coming into base camp. Everest Max. Well done, the guys.
The team have completed one of the most ambitious cycle rides ever undertaken. After 5,000 miles, 8 countries and more than 3 months, the first phase of their journey is over. Attention will now switch to the mountain as the hard part starts.
Best of luck for the next few weeks. Let's be safe. Be safe.
We're all climbers now.
Yep. One team.
The puja ceremony is conducted by the local lama. He blesses the climbers and Sherpas and prays for their safe passage on the mountain. It's a chance for everyone on the team to reflect on the challenges ahead.
It's now the 14th of April and we're starting the movement from base camp up to advanced base camp. In order to do this, we've got 51 yaks to carry all of our kit that we need to take up to advanced base camp. As you can see, all the yaks are here. They're weighing out the luggage and bartering over how much it's going to cost.
From base camp, the yaks will carry the equipment 22 kilometers up the glacier to advanced base camp, or ABC, at 6,400 meters. It's a particularly punishing walk, which the climbers will repeat several times. From ABC, they will be on their own. Climbers and Sherpas must carry everything needed for the high camps before a summit bid can take place.
I wanna breathe easy at base camp. I wanna breathe easy at base camp. I'm gonna steal all dumb oxygen to help that happen.
down. Give me your oxygen down. Give me your oxygen down.
Life here at ABC is hard. Nighttime temperatures of -20 and only half the oxygen available at sea level make this a very challenging environment.
76.
The oxygen equipment will only be used on the upper reaches of the mountain. However, every piece of equipment needs to be tested, and there is no shortage of volunteers.
89.
The team use every opportunity to brush up on skills and to ensure their safety higher up.
The boys are heading off to the North Col today. They're planning on sleeping there and then heading up to Camp 2 tomorrow. So Jamie, Andre, Andrew and Seb are heading off.
After a long trudge across the glacier, they hook into the fixed rope which will guide their ascent.
Well, we've just started ascending the North Col. We've got about a 600 metre ice face to go up. So yeah, just trying to get as much oxygen to the lungs as possible and keep on plodding. Just got up to the low point of the North Col and it's shattering. That last bit is nearly vertical. I just need to get my puff back.
This is Chicken Balti, all the way from home. Oh my word.
An update on the weather forecast from the French. They say it's not supposed to be very good today. They say it should be...
Back in the base camp, the climbers are caught in a waiting game. The Sherpas will now lift oxygen to the high camps in preparation for a summit bid. For the team, it's a chance to relax, eat and sort equipment. They are now in the hands of the weather. Only when the fierce high-altitude winds drop will they be able to attempt a summit.
Otherwise, feeling healthy, feeling scared, feeling suitably nervous, but very excited.
I feel a bit weird really, just quite quiet, just thoughts going through my head and stuff, but quite excited about it as well, so just going to give it my best shot and hopefully get to the top, but we'll see how it goes.
We've just heard from Seb and Chris are at Camp 3, which is at 8,000 metres. So they're the first members of the team to go into the death zone, which is quite an achievement. So it's going to be a pretty tense 24 hours, and we're going to see what happens.
We're all just heading off for bed and Seb and Chris are heading up to the summit and it's quite unreal. You have to pinch yourself and just hope that they're sensible enough to listen to their bodies and that the weather holds for them.
Just to wish you all the best from all of us down here. Hope it all goes smoothly, over.
Well, Tom, thanks very much, and we'll speak to you a bit later on.
Seb and Chris make the summit early on the 17th of May,
Okay, Pauline, go ahead.
but the descent soon becomes dramatic.
Well, I'm just concerned about for Chris and Baz who can get off the mountain safely, and before I even think about my decision about going up tomorrow, but having real second thoughts about it, because it's really close to home now. It's not like another team, it's our team and it's Chris.
A scare for us.
Again, as we wait for news about Chris and Seb climbing down the mountain, other teams are anxiously looking through their telescopes to try and get news of their own teams.
And how's Chris feeling? Is he walking okay, over?
But after a stressful few hours, it's good news.
Sorry, Chris, Rocky Gibbon, up at 8,000 club. Everything all back to normal now. I I'm down to, well, we're still above 8,000 whoops, but yeah, everything okay, thanks.
I knew you'd be okay. I knew you were just testing us over.
And I'm really quite nervous. Very nervous. Only want to be crying about it, but that's okay. So we'll see how it goes.
Time for a break already, I think.
We're on the North Col now for our own summit bid. It should be routine now, but I've just bumped into Philippe, a French member of a French team, and he's just lost a friend of his and was in floods of tears. And it's really making me think about what we're doing here and whether it's really worth it.
We're both battling psychologically with all of the people coming down, giving us tales of sort of death and destruction. So we're just trying to keep our morale up at the moment. That's far harder than the physical challenge today.
Nick Clark has returned to ABC, and for him the summit will have to wait for another day. As the rest of the team reach the North Col, they rescue Canadian climber Vince Waters, who had collapsed in freezing temperatures. They give him 2 bottles of valuable oxygen in order to save his life.
I don't know what the exact tally is now, but it must be 6 or 7 people probably died in the last week or 10 days or so, which is quite a sobering thought as we're going higher up the mountain.
If we hadn't come through, and we were quite late in the day, he would have stayed there and he would have died. It's as simple as that. So anyway, we've organised a rescue party from his team, and they should be here at 7:30, and I'll be checking on him again, and then hopefully continuing the summit bid, but it's all becoming quite grim. Okay, all right, good night.
It's 5:30 in the morning on the North Col on the 19th of May, and the sun's just come up. It's a fantastic view, all the clouds down in the valley below.
And we're just deciding what to do today because it's really windy up here on the North Col, so we're just deciding whether it's safe for us to head up to Camp 2 or not.
He died above 8,600, so he must be close to the summit, over.
Chris, yeah, we think he's between the 3rd step and the summit. We're not sure exactly where, and he doesn't know, and the Sherpas have been very useful in pinpointing his position, over. Jack is further along. In terms of the personal effects, there's a wedding ring, there is a cord around his neck which we think is the blessing cord, and also a camera which is, I think, around his waist, over.
Asked by Jacques' wife Caroline to retrieve his personal effects, including his wedding ring, the team now have another reason to reach the summit of Everest. However, a bad weather forecast threatens their progress.
Obviously, I want them to get to the summit, so no doubt in that. But after what's happened over the last few days on the mountain, you get scared, you get emotional as well. I think the main thing is they all come down safely.
We need the most accurate weather report you've ever given to anybody in your life.
It'd be fair to say that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but I'm so glad I did it. It's awesome.
We've just come up to Camp 2 at 7,500 metres, about 25,000 feet, without any oxygen, and it was hard, really hard. But now we're in the tent, and we found a few of these, $400 a piece, but that's not going to hold us back at all.
It's about 8:10 in the evening, and we're camping up at Camp 2. I'm in the tent with Dom and Sarah and Andrew in the tent next door. We're just having some food and some fluids and stuff, and we're going to be sleeping on oxygen tonight, so hopefully that'll make us feel a bit more with it, and we'll be feeling strong tomorrow to get up to Camp 3, as long as the winds stay calm.
Now climbing on oxygen, the team begin the 6-hour ascent to Camp 3 and into the death zone.
So 7,900 metres.
a bit worried that if you drop anything out of this tent, it's probably going to go about a mile down into the valley. Just see the village of tents on the North Col, 1,000 metres below. Nice call a long way down.
I've made the decision not to go for the summit, just to go to Camp 3. I think everyone on the trip assesses the risks, and I've just decided that I don't have the experience and the risk is not worth the gain.
How's the weather looking?
It's still pretty windy out there. Basically, there's not a single peak view of the. We can see now the Himalayas, so the cloud level is quite high. It just shows how high we are up here in the death zone.
Despite the conditions, Dom, Andrew and Jamie leave for the summit at 10 o'clock that night. Their climb to the top should take 10 hours.
Come up to meet you, tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you, tell you I need you, tell you I set you apart. Tell me your secrets and ask me your questions. Oh, let's go back to the start. Running in circles, coming in tails, heads on the sides apart. Nobody said it was easy. It's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it was easy. No one ever said it would be this hard. Oh, take me back to the start. I was just guessing at numbers and figures, pulling your puzzles apart. Questions of science, science and progress did not speak as loud as my heart. Tell me you love me, come back and haunt me. Oh, when I rush to the start, running in circles, chasing tails, coming back as we are. Nobody said it was easy. Oh, it's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it was easy. No one ever said it would be so hard. I'm going back to the start.